What if I told you that being comfortable is actually making your life forgettable? When you look back at your life, is there a period of time that just gets bunched together, like maybe high school or university? Yes, certain events stand out more than others, but nothing really sticks out like a sore thumb. Memories don't get formed when you're living the same day to day life with nothing to anchor these moments in place. Your brain isn't built to recall experiences that don't test the current framework of who you are. I think that we're living in a time where days, weeks, months, and even years can go by without anything truly memorable happening that you can look back on in the future. These milestones and bookmarks change depending on who you are, as everyone is different, but I think I can throw in some ideas. There is this idea based off the Japanese word masogi, where you do something that has about a 50% chance of failure. This tends to be easier with physical challenges. However, I'm sure you could figure out other ideas like social fears or creative challenges. 3 years ago, I came back home to my family after living in Newfoundland for the summer, and I felt as if nothing had really changed and I was back to where I started. I'm still here. Although Newfoundland was a bookmark in itself, I didn't really realize it at the time. So one morning I woke up and said, screw it, I'm gonna run a marathon. I hadn't really ran anywhere in the last 5 years, although I was still in good shape, but the idea sounded like an interesting challenge and I wasn't sure how far I could go. In the end, I ended up finishing the marathon while carrying a backpack with a gallon of water. This is to
I'm in
say that
pain.
bookmarks don't have to come by an expensive trip or something you plan on doing for months. Not to say this isn't an option, as it definitely is, just that an impromptu decision can become a lifelong moment you fall back on. Every second of your life is an opportunity no matter where you are currently. That marathon gave me a new outlook on everything I did for the following year, and it's still with me. I've just gotten used to it. The word masogi means water purification, which corresponds to the feeling of completing one of these challenges, sort of like a prolonged runner's high. I really think a masogi is an amazing way to bookmark your life with different challenges that better your mentality and create lasting memories. There's one important caveat though. You can't just repeat the same challenge over and over. Through repeated exposure to experiences that you once classified as a scary experience, your amygdala, the part of your brain that processes fear, adapts. You lose the same sensitivity and with it, likely the memory as well. When you're recalling memories, sometimes you may not think you are, but each recall you're slightly changing that memory. You aren't recalling the initial event, you're recalling the last time you recalled it. This is to say that experiences that may have seemed rough at the time can be looked at in a better light in the future. As with everything, the worst events at the time tend to be the coolest looking back on. Recently, I ran 60 kilometers and I wasn't really scared to do it, as well as I didn't really get anything from it rather than a normal runner's high. This is to say that you constantly need to change your challenges and they cannot be the same. I have yet to experiment with this really myself, but I think it's a double-edged sword. You're not going to remember the 100 varying distance long runs you do. You'll remember the first, and that's all that matters. Change up your challenges and create a more diversified portfolio. If you go long on a run, you'll get diminishing returns, and that's all you'll remember.